Greetings, everyone. This is Aya. Thank you so much for joining me on my Trigger Happy Workbook podcast presented by A Very Good Life. Feel free to join me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, A Very Good Life. And when you're joining, and once a month, we will get together for live Q&As and other events that you guys would like to do as a collective. Today we're going to be discussing the secret dark side of being a light worker, a survivor, the things that the survivors are ashamed of the most. And one of those things that come to mind, that have been coming to mind most often, is the fact that people that have come from narcissistic family dynamics, abusive family systems, histrionic family systems, borderline family systems, any type of a situation where you weren't put first as a child and you weren't poured into, you were focused on other people, on their needs, and on raising your own parents and helping them raise the kids, and having to be a vessel of nurturing and love, and you weren't filled up with love. One of the secrets, the hidden secrets inside, the shameful thing that you realize when you start healing and you let go of these family systems and relationships, you realize that you don't know how to function without that. You don't know how to function in a healthy way. You have been searching for and wanting intimacy and love your whole life, but the only place you really do fit in after all of that trauma, all of that drama, all that struggle, is with other dysfunctional people. Because the needs and desires in a healthy relationship are foreign to you, and you may not be to this point yet. So you may disagree with me, but I'm honestly speaking from experience. As I peel back the layers, I have to realize that if I were to get in a relationship with someone who was healthy, they would be raising me, most likely. And that's where the real work began for me, to learn what it really means to raise myself, right? In order to be in a healthy friendship, relationship, there has to be a level of sovereignty within yourself, to where you're not needing validation all the time. You're not blaming and pointing a finger like, if you encourage me more, I would be this or that. It's your responsibility now. All of the things that you wish and long for your mom and dad and parents to be for you, now you have to turn around and give that to yourself. You can expect your mates and your friends to do that for you in a normal way. Say you're having a conversation with a friend who's healthy. Of course, when you talk to them, they will encourage you, be like, wow, that's awesome, But the relationship is not going to be all about you, meaning you're not going to be the child and they're not going to be the parent. Once you learn how to stop projecting the roles that you didn't have in your life onto everyone else, then you're more ready for a relationship or friendships, or more attractive to people who are healthy than you were before. You need to be so enthralled in your own life and your own projects, and you might not at first have the inner love, the inner encouragement, the inner energy really, to push yourself all the way through to the end of your own projects and stuff. So you might need to go to therapy, and you might need trauma healing. and you might need to pay someone to walk you through that process of growing up in ways that you weren't raised. The truth of the matter is, another shameful secret is that you did not get guidance. You're able to guide other people, but you weren't guided. And so oftentimes I have highly sensitive people come to me and they're ashamed that they're making mistakes, like picking the wrong man or the wrong woman, not able to live their dreams, not able to make the right decisions in their everyday life as to how to take care of themselves, what direction to go, how to listen to their intuition. And this is normal. And the reason why this is because you need guidance. Everybody needs guidance. And a lot of highly sensitive people don't even know what that means and what that looks like. But you do it for other people all the time. It's a really interesting dichotomy to where you were groomed to be a giver because everybody around you, even your mom and dad, most likely, did not have guidance either. They weren't raised. And what happens is with narcissistic people who are carriers of the narcissistic archetype, the carriers of the narcissistic archetype, when they're not, when you don't give them the attention and love that they desire, they unleash the monsters onto you. I was just listening to Will Smith talk about his relationship with the dark-skinned Aunt Viv, and he reminded me of that. He said that because in his childhood he had to, he used to make his dad laugh in order to keep him from being abusive. And so in order to feel safe around him, you have to laugh at all his jokes, right? And if you didn't laugh at his jokes, then he would basically turn into a monster and try to get rid of you. That is some tyrant shit. That's some czar shit. That's some like off with their head shit. That reminds me of narcissists. If you don't respond to them how they want you to respond to them, how they feel safe with people and everybody responding to them in a certain way, then they try to destroy you. Point blank, and the period. You're gone. And that's painful to heal from, okay? Not only are you not being raised and you're not being guided towards your highest and best good, maybe I suggest, because I love reading memoirs. I haven't read one in a long time, but maybe I just might, just for something different. But I love reading memoirs of people's lives. And maybe you can choose some memoirs of reading people's lives, because you need to have a point of reference. You can maybe even look back in your childhood to look at people's houses you've been over who you like, wow, they have amazing parents. You need a point of reference to see and to sense and to feel what it's like to have guidance in your life so that you're not beating yourself up. And the guidance you can use to mother yourself is your own intuition. And also getting a counselor, because children need to be told, you're tired, take a nap. It's lunchtime, it's time to eat. Like, that's guidance. That's like everyday self-care guidance. A mother that allows you your space to play, allows you your independence. A father that gives you boundaries, but doesn't control. Father that tells you the truth about the world, but allows you to, that tells you he's still going to be there, even, when you make mistakes. But, he's going to show you the ropes of how to live. That's guidance. And if you didn't have that, then you don't know how to do a lot of things. Like, I have had a couple of friends in my life who their parents are rich, but their parents are narcissists. And their parents gave them the affluence and the look and appearance of being rich, but they taught them nothing. Narcissists don't give you guidance. Narcissists are trying to get their needs met from you. And so you could be like out in the world, like, how do I pay my bills? And you have to figure everything out on your own. And then the trippy part about narcissistic family systems is that they laugh and point at you as they see you struggling to figure things out on your own. And it's weird. And it makes you feel like, shit, I don't know how else to say that. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel inadequate. But in all honesty, my question is to narcissistic people, parents, is that, or parents who don't take the time to raise their children. I don't know if you want to, everybody that don't raise their child, is everybody that don't raise their child a narcissist? I don't know. That's why I said all those other descriptions in the beginning. It's like, if you didn't teach me, then you don't get to yell at me about it. And even if you did teach me, it takes time for things to get into a person's body, into their bones, into their system. It takes discipline. Like, growing up is uncomfortable. Having to clean up your room is uncomfortable. Nobody wants to do it. But if you want to be happy with your home, then there's certain things you have to do, right? If you want to be happy with your mind and your body, there's certain things you have to do, even if you don't like to do it. Like, it's healthy to meditate, even if you don't want to do it. I recommend you do it 5 minutes a day. Some people don't like to take showers, but I recommend that you keep yourself clean, because then you're going to have other problems that you don't like as well. And that's how life is. And being trained and being guided on how to cope with stress, cope with those challenges, and all the things we don't want to do is a part of growing up. And if you didn't have that, and then you were busy raising everyone and making sure everyone had their homework done, and you did managed to get your stuff done, but you weren't present in, like, manifesting the things you want in your life because you were so stressed out, then you would need to learn how to de-stress, get the trauma out of your system, and then rebuild from there, and learn different habits and patterns for your life so that you can move forward. C3, highly sensitive people, empaths, people who have been scapegoated, are the black sheep. Oftentimes they're late bloomers, and they feel left behind, and they feel like they're playing catch up, and so they push themselves really hard to try to transform and change really fast. I have people come to me, and I have to tell them, I'm like, look, honey, this is a process. I know you want results, but the results is going to come from it's a twofold relationship. And so you work with me, and we become aware of what are the holes in your psyche, what are the holes in your aura, what was missing from your development, and we make a plan, and then you stick to it long term, like the rest of your life. Because there's something that is missing in the perspective and thought process of someone who hasn't been taken care of and loved. That if you were taken care of and loved for 18 years by good enough parents, that's what they call it in psychology, when your parents aren't abusive, they're good enough. Because no parents are perfect. You can't possibly get all your needs met by your parents. That's why you need a village, right? But if your parents were good enough, and they didn't stunt your growth, they would have trained you to do the things that we would talk about as far as your needs go, and being disciplined at those things for 18 years. They would train you up. The Bible says, train a child up in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. Now, if you were groomed, because I don't feel like empath or highly sensitive person or a scapegoat is trained. They're not raised. They're groomed. You get told that you're arrogant if you focus on yourself. Okay? You get told that you're selfish if you take time for yourself. So you get groomed into allowing people to take your time, energy, in whatever ways they want. And that's love to a narcissist, to an alligator. That's what I call it, the last podcast. That's love to them. And that's the only way to love them, and they will not depart from it. And they know they're wrong. And some of them don't know they're wrong. And I know some of them don't know they're wrong because I watch Ayanla fix my life. And some people are extremely narcissistic. And I'm like, ooh, they must not know that they're wrong. Because they get cop an attitude like they're right. And I'll be like, ooh, you don't know that's wrong, boo? That's far gone to me. That's diabolical. Not to say that a narcissist that knows that they're doing wrong isn't diabolical, but somebody who will get on national TV and talk shit, and they have been abusing their children, I'd be like, they must think that's right. They have to be damn near pushed off a cliff to see it's wrong. And then people get mad at Ayanla for using the tactics that she uses. Girl, some of them people, I get it. You know? My sister, one of my sisters, my youngest sister, called Ayanla, and they actually contacted my mom, and my mom hung up on them and blocked them. I heard this from hearsay, child. I don't talk to that lady. But my mom knows that she will get her ass handed to her by her children, by Ayanla. Serious, and she doesn't, and she don't want to change, and she don't want to be embarrassed, really. And so she's not going to. She's been holding up in the community for so long that everybody else is crazy, and she don't know why her kids don't talk to her. So she wants to keep that going. She wants to keep that same energy. So I know she knows that she's wrong. She just doesn't. I know she kind of goes the route where she tries to work on things herself. You know, as we all do when we don't trust people, and then you get to the point to where you let go and you realize I can only get so far by myself. Let me give this and that a try. You know, I know personally I had to get to that point when I started studying soul retrieval and trauma healing and stuff. Then I finally found a method that worked for me, and that's the direction I went to. I mean, I went to therapy first, and I did like my therapist, but I was broke at the time. I didn't have any money. I couldn't afford it. So yeah, it's and that's also a thing too. A lot of times, people who are scapegoated, they leave the house with the clothes on their back because your parents can possibly be really cruel and get offended when you want to be independent. And so they'll either kick you out with nothing, or you'll leave and they won't let you take nothing. That was my experience. I didn't get kicked out, but I moved out, and she was like, you can't take nothing, you can't take this, you can't take that. This is my house, this is my stuff, I'm like, no, it's not. My grandma bought me that, you know? But, so it's been, process. of getting on my feet. And so I understand. That's why I offer different things, different levels of things, and you can join my YouTube channel for $4.99, and we can get together for Q&A, but just know, for people who don't want to pay for anything, I used to feel that way too. I felt humiliated. It's another humiliating thing. Number 4, letter D. I forgot. For a second, I had to do my ABCs. My therapist, when I first started going, one time she was like, "I'm so sorry you have to pay," because she can tell I hated paying. I felt like humiliated. I felt humiliated by the fact that I had to pay for something that I felt like I should have been given naturally, And I didn't want to pay for anybody to take care of me, listen to me, and love me. I just felt like, and I'm like, why don't I want to pay? And as time went by, I realized how much energy it takes. When I started mothering myself and nurturing myself back to health, I realized how much energy it takes to mother someone and to listen to someone and to mirror someone and validate someone. And then I was like, oh, those people aren't my mom. They didn't give birth to me. They're not obligated to spend their life listening to people like that. And it is a special place. They're taking on my energy. They deserve to be paid. And after I had that realization, and it really wasn't until I made a commitment and became disciplined at my own self-care. That's some work. That is every, especially when you're as broken and hurt as I was fucked up to the white meat, emotionally and spiritually, financially. Like, my whole system was beat up. I have no connection with myself. Which is part of my testimony that I have to offer. This is my testimony. And so when I started really putting in that work, and I stopped putting the responsibility off on friends, and stopped blaming my mom, I realized that anybody that took the time and energy to raise me, basically, deserved every penny. And I could let go of that shame. And I was like, I understand. But if you guys have any secrets of ways that you feel humiliated in your healing process as a highly sensitive person, a scapegoat, of being from another dimension of love, a light worker, a high priestess, a spiritual warrior, a high priest, let me know. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for joining me on another workbook. And I will continue to finish the actual workbook for everyone. The pieces that were missing for me while I was writing at the beginning are definitely filled in after me facing myself during 8 months of quarantine in Peru. Peace to you.